स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing some of the important points said by Sri Ramakrishna to his disciples. All his teachings are very significant for those who want to practice spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna's teachings provide good ground for leading spiritual life. It was evening. Sri Ramakrishna, after attending the Vesper service in temple, he was overwhelmed with joy. Came back to the room, sat in meditation. Immediately he went into samadhi. After some time, his consciousness came to the lower level. That means to the level of the normal state. M was sitting there in the room. There was nobody else, just Sri Ramakrishna and M, who recorded the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna said, still in that ecstatic mood, he was addressing Mother. Oh Mother, one needs faith. Away with this wretched reasoning. Let it be blighted. One needs faith. Faith in the words of the Guru, childlike faith. This is a very significant teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. In the modern world, people just have no regard for faith. They want reasoning. Everything should go by reason. And even the existence of God must be proved by reasoning. To that extent people conduct seminars just to reason about. Sri Ramakrishna tells emphatically, stop your reasoning. You enter into the spiritual realm when the reason stops. Faith, tremendous belief, complete trust in the spiritual teacher. If one has faith, it works miracles in one's spiritual life. I mean, miracle mean he gets achievement immediately, even without his asking for it. You can't achieve spiritual attainment through conducting seminars and conferences, making a big noise. Oh, we are working for the global awareness. What is that? Simply talking, chatting, eating, drinking, sleeping. That is very ordinary way of interpretation of spiritual life. Spiritual life is more deep. It is more significant. It doesn't allow any compromise if you come to practical aspect of spirituality. If you are really seeking achievements, you have to work hard and you have to focus all your energy and attention towards that end. So, the validity of a spiritual teaching rests solely on faith and never on reason. The reality of God is self-revealing and self-evident and is not dependent upon any denial or acceptance of the human mind. The proof of the existence of anything is the faith that it exists. As is one's faith, so are one's perceptions and cognitions. Believers in matter call the ultimate reality matter. The whole thing is matter, nothing but matter. Those who believe in time call that reality as time. Everything is time, time only, nothing else but time. Mahakala, great time. And believers in void call it void. Particularly those who practice Buddhism, they are the believers of void, Shunyavad. For them, reality means shunya. Reality means void. In any walk of life, reason follows the faith. We perceive a thing and then reason about it. This is also the process in the realm of religion. That which is envisioned by faith is systematized by reason as philosophy for the understanding of the average mind. The prophets and godmen of different religions speak. They speak from faith. They are never guided by reason. They pursue reality directly and speak about it with childlike simplicity. Philosophical thoughts develop later to systematize what the prophets and godmen realized through faith. Reason gives expression, an explanation of the experience of these great men of God. Myths and rituals, they are attempts to concretize what has been mystically experienced and philosophically systematized. One reasons and argues about a thing as long as one has not developed faith in the existence of that thing, or one is doubtful about its existence. The greatest abstraction, the greatest obstacle in spiritual field, in spiritual journey, is doubt. You have to be very careful about dealing with doubts. There should be some limitation for the doubts. Don't stretch it too much. Samshayatma vinashyati. Bhagavan says, one who is doubtful, he ruins himself. Because the doubtful attitude confuses the mind. It makes one frustrated. Reason is guided by the appearance of things and not by their content. It is dialectic in its approach and discursive in its temper. It gives only diagrams of reality, but not a comprehensive picture of it. It reduces all things, even living beings, to ideas in order to understand them better. That is how the function operates. Faith, on the other hand, is concerned primarily with the content of a thing and not merely with its appearance. Faith is an appeal to the heart and not to head. The essence of every religion is love of God, or love of that which is ultimately real. And love is a function of faith. and not of reason. Love is being and not knowing. In order to love a person, one doesn't need to know the philosophy about knowing the person. One does not need to know the physiology and biochemistry of that person. In order to attain love of God, one doesn't need to reason about his existence. The ultimate proof of the existence of God or of that which is absolutely real depends on faith and not reason. Faith makes everything living. The concept of God becomes a living reality when it is inspired by faith. The power of a saint, the power of a prophet, the power of a God-man is not in his philosophy, but his conviction about the presence of God, born of his unwavering faith. When Swami Vivekananda approached Sri Ramakrishna, when Swamiji asked Sri Ramakrishna whether one could see God, Sri Ramakrishna emphatically said, God can be experienced. He is more real than yourself. We may come, we may go. Today we are here, tomorrow we may not be. But God is always there. So He is more real. He is the real to say. The difference between a saint and an ordinary person is the difference in the degree of this conviction. Reason begins with doubt and also ends in doubt. And such doubt springs from another kind of faith, faith in perverted reasoning. The cure for doubt is therefore not reason, but faith. The cure for doubt is not reason, but faith. One who continuously doubts and reasons gradually develops a taste for such doubting and reasoning, and in course of time, such a habit becomes the means of sophisticated intellectual pleasures. It's a joy to argue. It's a joy to keep on tacking whole day morning, whole day night. If somebody provides them good dinner, they are prepared to spend the whole day in talking and chatting, reasoning, reaching nowhere. In the words of Plotinus, reason is a lame man's crutch. It is never able to establish beyond doubt the validity of any spiritual truth. The movement of reason is from general to particular. It seeks to make finite representations of the infinite, an attempt which is frustrating to reason itself. Reason, as it refutes a hypothesis, implicitly suggests a new one, which in turn can be refuted by another reason. Thus it is like a game of solitaire which is never finished. For where speculation is both the goal and the means to attain the goal, there is no end of it. A person who waits for decisive proof about the efficacy of a spiritual path in order to commit himself to it can never do so, because each doubt resolved reveals a new one requiring another solution. Where is the end for doubt? Reason can never be a perfect instrument of knowledge, because the tools of reason are inference, analogy, assumption, and so forth, none of which can give any direct glimpse of truth. Furthermore, a perverted mind can resort to perverted arguments. There is no use reasoning about the validity of a perception when the perception itself is vitiated by the penumbra of the perceiver's mind. The goal of religion is not to form an opinion about truth, but to achieve a vision of it. A seeker of God does not seek knowledge of God, but God Himself. Such an attainment is possible only through faith and not through reason. For in order to reason about a thing, one has to create a distance, and the more one reasons, the more distance one creates. On the other hand, faith creates a nearness to the object of faith. Where there is love, there is closeness. There is nearness. Faith is a kind of superior reason that teaches us that man, the individual, is organically related to God, the totality. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. The Upanishad very nicely explains. The whole thing is Brahman only, nothing but Brahman. The true reality has been realized by the sages and given to the world. Look, this is the truth. Any reasoning that takes away the individual from the totality is a form of self-love, the root cause of all sufferings of life. Self-love is motivated by the motto of having and possessing, while love of God is guided by being and self-surrender. Self-love springs from an egotism that lives with a sense of puerile self-sufficiency. Faith is that reason which focuses our attention on the smallness of the ego and the folly of self-love, and urges us to love God, the center of our inmost being. Faith is the very essence of one's commitment to a spiritual goal. Without faith, spiritual life is not possible. An aspirant who is devoid of faith is only meandering aimlessly. The universe of reason is made of dead concepts and dry categories. One who depends upon reason for the vision of truth He is like one who is searching for the living among the dead. The message of reason is always fragile and vacillating. It can never inspire faith in God, in matters spiritual. Belief of a person in the infallibility of reason is a form of weakness. It is weakness not because he believes in reason, but because he believes only in reason. Such reason can give consistency, but never truth. The process of reasoning follows the triple method of experimentation, verification, and demonstration. That which is true and authentic is universally true irrespective of time and place. Such truth is experimental, verifiable, and demonstrable. Verification of a truth depends upon experimentation, and experimentation requires involvement. But spiritual truth cannot be verified unless it is experimented upon by living it in one's own life. And to live it, one must have faith in it. See how important is faith? So, the spiritual quest begins with faith. It is sustained by faith. And also it attains culmination through faith. Faith matures into conviction, and conviction reaches its fullness in realization. That is why Sri Ramakrishna overwhelmingly gave this teaching by addressing Mother. Oh Mother, give me faith. If you have faith, you have God right now with you. So build up that faith. Then only you can have true love of God. Where there is true love of God, there is complete dedication and devotion towards God. You cannot but realize Him. You will realize, you must realize. That is how faith works its wonders. It doesn't mean that you should not entertain doubts, but not too much. Make a bundle of all the doubts and throw it in a trash bag. Let it remain. Just immerse yourself in practicality. The teachers have shown us the way. Look, this is the way, go. Do like this, finished. What's the meaning of having faith in Guru? To follow what Guru says. When you have accepted the Guru, that means you have got confidence in the Guru. That confidence must show up in you as faith. Well, my master has told me like this. I must see the truth. It is to be experienced, not to be talked about. You have to sit and do it. By reasoning, you can't get the vision of God. by meditating upon the sacred mantra given to you by the Guru, by following the spiritual instructions of the Master, you are sure to get the goal, reach the goal. You are sure to attain the reality. There's a famous passage in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, very, very interesting passage. A dialogue between Yajnavalkya Maharshi and one of his wives, Maitreyi. Because he had two wives, one is Gargi, another is Maitreyi. They lived with Maharshi in close association for many years, so they had that spiritual urge in them, and naturally they wanted to ask questions and get clarifications from the Maharshi, who was a realized soul. He was a Brahmajnani. And series of questions Maitreyi is putting to Yajnavalkya. Why it happened this way, why it happened that way, etc. And Maharshi goes on explaining. Finally he said, stop, no more. Stop, no more. Don't ask any one question anymore. It is beyond the realm of questions now. It is the realm of faith. It is the realm of practice. That is spirituality. Yato vacho nivartante. Everything falls back. In that high state of spiritual mood, all your reasoning, all these things, they just drop out. So, childlike faith, that is very, very important. That's what Sri Ramakrishna said. Have that faith. And he was telling Master Mahasaya, have tremendous faith. Faith is the one needful thing. Let us try to practice it. Let us try to understand the significance of faith. Don't call it real faith, blind faith, etc. You must know that you are believing it when you are receiving it. When you are initiated into a divine mantra, you must believe it. The whole purpose of your life is just attained by practicing the mantra given to you. No more reading, no more reasoning is required. I am speaking from the practical point of view. The more you begin to reason, the more time you are wasting. That much time is gone without doing practice. That's how I feel. Let us try to follow it up and pay full attention to what Sri Ramakrishna has said and practice them. Sri Ramakrishna himself would go to would wake up his disciple, go. This is not the time to sleep. Go and meditate in Panchavati. Right now. Get up and go. He would wake them up. That's how he trained the disciples. Later on, these disciples became great in every respect. The greatness is because of the practical spirituality. They lived the life, they experienced the life, they reached the goal. That is why they have become very great. With these words, I conclude my talk. Page 504. Those who have a human body for the first time need the experience of sense enjoyments. Spiritual consciousness is not awakened unless certain duties have been performed. The master was going to Pine Grove. With a smile he said to M on the semicircular porch, well, what do you think of my state of mind? M smilingly said, on the surface you are very simple, but inwardly very deep. It is extremely difficult to understand you. Master, smiling, said, true. It is like the cement floor of a house. People see only the outer surface and do not know how many materials there are under it. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Balram and several other devotees got into a country boat to return to Calcutta. It was ebb tide in the Ganges. A gentle breeze was blowing from the south, covering the bosom of this sacred river with ripples. M looked at this scene a long time. As the boat disappeared in the direction of Calcutta, he came back to the master. Sri Ramakrishna was going to the Pine Grove. A beautiful dark rain cloud was to be seen in the northwest. The master asked M, do you think it will rain? Please bring my umbrella. M brought the umbrella. Reaching the Panchavati, the master said to Lotus, who also accompanied him, why do you look so sickly? Lotus said, I can hardly eat anything. Master said, is that the only reason? It is also a bad time for the ear. Are you meditating too much? To M he said, I have a request to make of you. Please tell Baburam to stay with me a day or two during Rakhal's absence. Otherwise, I shall feel very unhappy. M said, yes, sir, I shall tell him. Sri Ramakrishna asked M whether he thought that Baburam was guileless. Presently, the master left them, going in the direction of the pine trees. After a few minutes, M and Latu, standing in the Panchavati, saw the master coming backward toward them. Behind him, the sky was black with the rain cloud. Its reflection in the Ganges made the water darker. The disciples felt that the master was God incarnate, a divine child, 5 years old, radiant with the smile of innocence and purity. Around him were the sacred trees of the Panchavati, under which he had practiced spiritual discipline and had beheld visions of God. At his feet flowed the sacred river Ganges, the destroyer of man's sins. The presence of this God-man charged the trees, shrubs, flowers, plants, and temples with spiritual fervor and divine joy. Sri Ramakrishna returned to his room and sat on the small couch. He began to praise a medicine that a certain brahmachari had prepared for him. Referring to this man, Hazrat said, he is now entangled in many worldly anxieties. What a shame. Look at Nabi Chaitanya of Konnagar. Though a householder, he has put on a red cloth. Master, what shall I say? I clearly see that it is God Himself who has assumed all these human forms. Therefore, I can't take anybody to task. Hazrat said, Narendra is again involved in a lawsuit. Master said, he doesn't believe in Shakti, the Divine Mother. If one assumes a human body, one must recognize her. Hazrat said, Narendra says, if I believed in Shakti, all would follow me. Therefore I cannot. Master said, but it is not good for him to go to the extreme of denying the Divine Mother. He is now under Shakti's jurisdiction. Even a judge, while giving evidence in a case, comes down and stands in the witness box. To M, have you seen Narendra lately? M said, not during the last few days. Master said, see him and bring him here in a carriage. To Hazrat, Sri Ramakrishna said, well, what is his relation to this, meaning himself? Hazrat said, he expects help from you, Master. And what about Bhavanand? Would he come here so frequently if he doesn't have good tendencies? What about Harish and Latu? They always meditate. Why is that? Hazrat, that is right. Why should they devote all their time to meditation? It is quite a different thing for them to stay here to attend to your personal needs. Master said, possibly you're right. Perhaps others may take their place now. Hazrat left the room, leaving the Master alone with M. Master said, does what I say in this state of ecstasy attract people? M said, oh yes, very much. Master said, what do people think of me? Do they think anything in particular about me when they see me in that condition? M said, we feel in you a wonderful synthesis of knowledge, love and renunciation, and on the surface a natural spontaneity. Many divine experiences have passed like huge steamboats through the deep of your inner consciousness. Still you maintain outwardly this utter simplicity. Many cannot understand it, but a few are attracted by this state alone. Master said, there is a sect of Vaishnavas known as Goshpara who describe God as the Sahaja, the simple one. They say further that a man cannot recognize this simple one unless he too is simple. To Yam he said, have I any ego? Yam said, yes sir, a little. You have kept it to preserve your body and to enjoy divine love in the company of the devotees and impart spiritual knowledge to them. Further, you have kept this trace of ego by praying to Divine Mother for it. Master said, no, I have not kept it. It is God Himself who has left it in me. Can you tell me how I appear in the state of samadhi? Yam said, as you said a little while ago, you see why you attract people so much. Sir, I have a question to ask. There are two opinions in the scriptures. According to one Purana, Krishna is Chidatma, the Absolute, and Radha is Chit Shakti, its divine power. But according to another, Krishna himself is Kali, the primordial energy. Master said, this second view is held in the Devi Purana. According to it, Kali herself has become Krishna. But what difference does it make? God is infinite, and infinite are the ways to reach Him. We'll stop here. Srinivasan.
what you said today, what you read from said, it's like Swami Ramakrishna himself had doubts. He's asking him for clarification. Can I come to that conclusion? Why is he having all these questions?
No, it is just to it's one way of telling his experiences to the, putting the question by way of answer to tell them the truth. It's not the question of encouraging reasoning that way. Reasoning, what today I told, practically refers to argumentation, and reasoning reaches nowhere. So, Sri Ramakrishna tells, of course he has told many stories about it, how through faith one attains the truth. Once the father want to go to some neighboring place. Every day he was offering worship to Govinda. And he told his little child, well, I'm going to neighboring village on some work. So will you please do puja and offer the things, because it should be done every day, and do it lovingly and see everything is done properly. And the child believed it totally, and when the time of puja came, the child went and did puja and kept the offerings, and calling God, why, please come, take them. Well, Dad told me that you have to offer lovingly, so I am keeping all these things to you. Please come, do come, please take. And the child was telling this way with so much of faith. It was overflowing with the tremendous love. God couldn't resist. God came and he took, not only that, he took everything. Nothing was left on the plate. After some time the father came back and inquired whether the puja was done, everything was done. Where is the prasad? What prasad? Where is the offering? Offering has been taken by God. You told me to offer to God, God will come and take, and he has come and take. What? Then he went to see. It was true. There was nothing on the plate. The story is told by Sri Ramakrishna himself. And another story also is said. Once a boy was going to a school. He has to pass through a forest. It was not an easy path. He has to walk a long distance. He was feeling lonely, and he told the mother, Mother, when I pass through that forest, I am afraid of it, because some of the fear comes to me. I don't know why. What should be done? Oh, don't worry. Call Madhusudan. And the boy literally took it. So, whenever he passed through that forest, he would call Madhusudan. His name was the Lord. And Madhusudan literally came and he led him outside the forest to the school. It was going on like that. Afterwards, when the mother came to know, she was surprised to see. All this happened because of the guilelessness of the heart. So anyway, you have to maintain that. That's what I am always telling in so many ways. The more you practice, maintain your purity level, to that extent you enjoy the spiritual glory. And you are sure to attain God. can see God. But tarka should not be there. Tarka. That's called reason. Tarka means argument is reason. Vittandavada. Simply talking, go on. Say particularly in universities, very frequently they conduct the programs regarding the philosophical theme, etc. And they very clearly say, oh Swami, we conduct this program just for academical interest. They make it very clear. Academical interest. That's what when I said intellectual pleasure, by reasoning this way, that way, you will get joy. If a perverted man comes, he interprets in a perverted way. So what is the real reality? What is the reality? So, the spiritual masters, those who have realized the truth, those who have got experience, they tell you, come on, do like this, you will get. Then again you should not ask, if I do it, do I get it? Then why do you doubt? You have to do it. Doing is the first priority. Sufficiently you must do it. Sufficiently means you must do in such a way it should remove all the dirt from the mind, and you must be able to sit quiet for a long time, and you must feel joyful, peaceful after getting up from meditation. That's the state of your achievement. You must be released from tensions and frustrations and desperations, etc., etc., etc. You must unburden everything when you are meditating. Feel light, then come out. That's the way of. But faith is a fundamental thing in spiritual life. Without faith, spiritual life is very difficult. Because it is not seen, it is to be experienced. The truth is to be experienced. Sri Ramakrishna has seen God. At the same time, he told his disciples to go and do meditation in Panchavati. Because you have to experience yourself. Of course, he gave the glimpse. Do like this, you will get like this. In that process, their faith was well established. They could move onward in their spiritual practices. So Guru's grace established good faith in them sufficiently well. Any comment? Srinivasan.
From these academic studies in universities, we do Tarka Shastra as one of the
Yeah, you're right.
as one of the disciplines, and knowledge also progresses because of that. It doesn't stop. So I see in spiritual things, we say we cannot question. But also Shankara and other people also have debated other people to prove their points in the past. So it has its place, I think.
No, they are refuting the argument. In order to refute the argument, they have to give some reasoning. Like that. Probably you must know, after Shankaracharya came Ramanujacharya. He refuted all what Shankara said. And afterwards Madhvacharya came. He refuted all what Ramanujacharya said. Then where do you stand? Do you accept Madhvacharya, or do you accept Ramanujacharya, or do you accept Shankaracharya? Some other time somebody will come and they refute all these three, and he tells in his own way. So where is the end for that? Sri Ramakrishna is talking about practical spiritual life. That's all intellectual joy. That's why I've already referred to that. It's not that you should not have any doubts or you will be free from doubts, etc. I'm not telling that way. The point is you must not stretch it too much. It's all right. It has got limitation. Reasoning has got its limitations. Reasoning will not give you realization. Through reasoning you will not realize the truth. Let's see. So what Sri Ramakrishna is telling, one needs faith. Faith is faith in the existence of God. God is there. So I must see Him. Finished. That faith, God is there, that positive attitude helps you a lot in spiritual field. If you entertain doubt in the beginning itself, is it true God is there? How do I know God is there? So if you probe the matter that way in the beginning itself, then how can you reach? What is the inspiration then to go onward in your spiritual path? So belief means you are putting faith in the sayings of the God men, in the sayings of the spiritual masters. They have realized the truth, and they have telling, do like this. That is the meaning of what Sri Ramakrishna tells. Have faith in the Guru's words. That's the meaning. Otherwise you can doubt anybody, everybody you can doubt. One fellow has written me a letter because he was coming to Calcutta when I was there. I had met him many times. He was a type by himself. He has no employment. He is not getting any job. He is educated, no doubt. But he has got parents, he has got another brother. And he wants to get money by luck. Why not I get through lottery some crores of rupees? Then I can do this, I can do charities, I can do this, that. And that fellow, every month, he used to go and buy the lottery ticket. I told him, if you have to improve your life, first you stop that. Don't think that lottery amount will come to you. But that fellow was passing through a lot of frustration, desperation, all sorts of things. And he is not married, but he wants to marry, but he is not married. So many things are in his mind. And he is telling in the letter, recently I got a letter, he is mentioning, of course I am not his guru, somebody else is his guru, whatever it is. Point is, he is telling, probably my guru is not powerful enough to remove all my frustration. I was amazed to see that he is writing like that. My guru is not powerful enough to remove my frustration and desperation in my life. Swamiji blessed me, he is writing me, Swamiji blessed me so that I may get money from lottery. Hmm? So as long as the mind is entertaining such ideas, how can you expect God vision? And that man is full of doubts, full of filth in the mind. Filth. Spirituality means nothing to him. He understands spirituality only when you give him money. So, but I am telling you, this is, you see, as I said, there are so many ways of approaching the truth. One way of approaching the truth is have faith and proceed. That's what Sri Ramakrishna tells. Of course, the Jnana Marga, neti, they go on reasoning, not this. True. But you have to be well established in that process. And then, no more reasoning. No more reasoning. Then only realization comes. So reasoning stops when you are about to get experience. That's the meaning of what Sri Ramakrishna said. Sri Ramakrishna, a great Jnani, he is telling, oh mother, one needs faith, childlike faith. If you have that, you will have everything in spiritual life. And we shall stop.